Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at some really cool research. We're talking about how dark language models, those LLMs you hear so much about, might just learn to think a little bit more like us when it comes to finding information.
Yeah, it's really interesting. The paper we're diving into today, DeepRAG, Thinking to Retrieval Step by Step for Large Language Models, is tackling a really big challenge in AI right now.
Yeah, and the title makes me feel smart already, even just saying it. But for our listeners, can you break down what problem exactly DeepRAG is even trying to solve?
So, you've probably seen those times when an AI confidently gives you an answer, but it turns out to be totally wrong. It's like your friend just spouting off incorrect trivia, you know? And those moments, we call those factual hallucination, and they're a big problem with
Oh
LLMs.
yeah, okay, like when my phone's autocorrect changes, let's meet for coffee to let's eat for coffee. Not really what I meant, but why do these hallucinations happen in the first place?
Well, it all comes down to limitations in the knowledge that's stored within the model itself. We call this parametric knowledge, and it can become outdated, it can have gaps, or just be inaccurate.
So like an encyclopedia that hasn't been updated in like years. Like it might have some good information, but it's going to miss out on all the latest, discoveries.
Exactly. And that's where this idea of retrieval-augmented generation, or RAG, comes in. It's like giving LLM access to a whole library of up-to-date information so they can actually double check their facts and actually get things right.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like giving them a fact-checking team that can go and quickly verify anything they're not sure of. So is that what DeepRAG is all about?
DeepRAG takes this whole idea of RAG even a step further. While those traditional RAG methods have actually shown promise, they often face some real challenges, like actually fetching too much information or struggling to effectively break down those complex questions. DeepRAG is a whole new approach that's trying to overcome these limitations.
Okay, no, I'm really intrigued. Now this is cutting edge stuff, right? Who are the minds behind DeepRAG, this breakthrough?
Yeah, it was published just this year, 2025, by a team of researchers from some of the top institutions in China, the Chinese Academy of Sciences, Tencent. Um, the lead authors, Xinyan, Guan, Jiali, Zeng, and their team, they've really pushed the boundaries of what we can do with retrieval-augmented reasoning.
Wow, a real all-star team. So how does DeepRAG actually work? What makes it so different from just traditional?
Oh, hey, our listener wants to join in. What's up?
Hey, can we just go through the three components of the framework of the deep RAG?
Absolutely, I'm happy to walk through them.
Yeah, let's dive right into the heart of it.
So DeepRAG operates through a three-step process.
Three steps, got it.
First, there's the binary tree search.
Binary tree search, okay, what's that all about?
For each subquery, DeepRAG builds a binary tree.
Okay, a visual, I like it.
One branch uses internal knowledge, the other external documents.
Okay, so it's exploring different answering strategies.
Exactly, assessing the impact of retrieval choices.
All right, so it's trying things out, seeing what works.
Next is imitation learning.
Okay, what's DeepRAG trying to imitate?
It finds the best reasoning path, the one with minimal retrieval cost.
Ah, so efficiency is key.
Then the LLM learns to mimic this efficient process,
So it's learning from the best, just like we were talking about.
improving termination and atomic decisions.
So it knows when to stop and when to search.
Finally, there's the chain of calibration.
Chain of calibration sounds intense.
This step fine-tunes the LLM's knowledge boundaries.
So it knows what it knows and what it doesn't.
Preference data indicates when retrieval is necessary.
It's really calibrating its self-awareness.
This helps it make informed atomic decisions.
So it's constantly refining its decision-making process.
Does that help clarify the three components?
Yeah, it does. Thanks for breaking that down.
So the key innovation lies in how DeepRAG models finding information.
How so?
It sees it as a series of steps, much like humans approach a complex problem.
So it is trying to think like us.
Like planning a trip, for example.
Right. You don't book without thinking, do you?
Exactly, and that's the heart of DeepRAG.
All right.
It breaks down answering a question into smaller steps.
Carefully considering each decision.
Exactly. It's not just grabbing any information it can find. It's strategically figuring out how to get to the right answer.
So how does it do this exactly?
DeepRAG uses a Markov Decision Process, or MDP, to model this.
Okay, Markov Decision Process. That sounds intense.
Think of it like DeepRAG is a detective solving a case, gathering clues, deciding what to investigate next.
Okay, I like that. Piecing together information.
Precisely. And DeepRAG uses two clever components to do this.
Okay, those sound interesting. Tell me more.
The retrieval narrative is a structured way to gather information. DeepRAG breaks down the question into smaller sub-questions.
It's creating a plan of attack. What about atomic decisions?
At each step, DeepRAG makes atomic decisions,
Okay,
choosing whether to use existing knowledge or search more.
so it's constantly evaluating its own knowledge.
Exactly. This constant evaluation makes DeepRAG efficient,
Got it.
only searching when necessary, saving time and resources.
So how does it learn to do all this? Where does the training come in?
DeepRAG's training is a three-stage process.
Oh, a three-stage process. Walk me through it.
Stage 1 explores different possibility.
Okay.
It uses binary tree search to test answering with and without info.
Okay, so it's experimenting, figuring out what works best.
Exactly. It learns from these experiments.
Okay, exploration, good starting point. What happens next?
Stage 2 is imitation learning.
What's being imitated?
DeepRAG mimics the most successful reasoning paths.
Ah, so it's like watching a master chef at work.
A perfect analogy. It develops strategic thinking skills.
Okay, imitation's great, but true mastery is more, right?
Stage 3 is chain of calibration.
What happens here?
DeepRAG hones its self-awareness, its knowledge boundaries.
So it's becoming more independent.
Precisely. This is crucial for smart atomic decisions.
This three-stage training process is pretty, but does it work?
The researchers evaluated its performance. The results were impressive.
Okay. Oh, back to our listener. What's up?
Can we wrap up the key points and give the detailed key points and give a conclusion?
Absolutely. I can definitely give a wrap-up.
Yeah, let's do that. Sum it all up in detail.
Okay, so DeepRAG tackles factual hallucinations in LLMs.
Right, those moments when they confidently lie to you.
Exactly. It uses RAG to access up-to-date info.
So it has a fact-checking team, always at the ready.
Right. It models finding information as a series of steps.
Strategically thinking about getting the right answer.
It uses a Markov Decision Process, or NDP.
That detective solving the case by gathering clues.
Its two components are the retrieval narrative
Breaking down questions into sub-questions.
and atomic decisions to use knowledge or search more.
Constantly evaluating its own knowledge.
Its training is a three-stage process.
Binary tree search, imitation learning, and chain of calibration.
It explores, imitates, and then self-calibrates.
So it explores all possibilities to see what works.
Exactly.
Then it imitates the best, most efficient paths.
Yeah. And lastly, it hones its self-awareness.
And it knows its knowledge boundaries.
And it outperformed traditional RAG methods.
So DeepRAG has aced its exams.
And achieved a 21.99% increase in answer accuracy.
It's smarter and more efficient.
DeepRAG consistently used fewer searches.
All of this is superior.
Yes.
But let's dig into those results.
For training, they used Hotpot QA and 2 wiki multi